Dr. Z, on today's show, we're interviewing Carol Hefner, Oklahoma's Republican Party Finance Director. I'm fired up, my friend.
Money. Show me the money.
Hey, as a general rule, are you a big fan of voting? Should we be voting?
Yes, absolutely. Everybody should be voting. If you're not registered to vote, shame on you. Get registered.
Well, now we move into an awkward moment of silence because I want to make sure people understand what this show's about. On today's show, Carol Hefner is going to explain to you the clear differences between Joe Biden and Donald J. Trump. And boy, there are some differences.
There are a few differences. You're correct.
And now, without any further ado, I want to tell you one cool thing. And if you don't want to do it, it's fine. I
All right,
want to ask you right here.
Okay. All right, do it.
During today's show.
Okay.
Or I guess after today's show, after we recorded today's show, because we always do the intro. We make the intro after the show.
I know.
So at the end of the show that we recorded that we'll cut off that no one else will hear, Carol asked if you and I would be willing to host a Facebook Live streaming podcast at the GOP watch party at the Capitol on November 3rd.
Absolutely.
Governor,
that'd be so much
Lieutenant
fun.
Governor, Facebook Live, the whole thing.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
You want to do it?
Yeah. Do I got to wear a suit?
No, I don't think so. Well, last time we did it, we had close to 1 million people streaming when we did the big watch party for Ken Reddick. It was big. And so this is going to be the Republican official. This will be in Oklahoma City. You and I up there.
Do it.
You down?
I'm down.
November 3rd.
I'm up.
Andrew's going to film. Andrew's going to make it happen. I just hard pitched him today. So, again, Thrive Nation, if you want to come see us in person, I know you do. I think you have to be invitation only, so it could get awkward. But act like you're a member of Antifa and just show up.
No, we're dark colors.
But seriously, we're not endorsing Antifa, and that's why we're voting
it's just
for
an
President
idea.
Trump.
It's just an idea, according to Biden.
But now that any further ado, our interview here with Carol Hefner, Oklahoma's Republican Finance Director.
Get ready to enter the Thrive Time Show.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
We started from the bottom, now we're on the top. Teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of 5, that's why I'm alive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the CNC up on your radio. And now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, and
Yes, and yes. Thrive Nation, on today's show, it is a very special occasion because we bring back today's guest for interview part 2, the incredible Carol Hefner. Welcome back onto the Thrive Time Show. How are you?
Hey, it's such a pleasure to be here. Well, it's Monday. It's like drinking from a fire hydrant, I always say, and just everything coming at you, but it's all good stuff, so can't be any worse, and I'm excited.
I'm going to try to ask you 10 questions in 15 minutes, and I think you have the energy level to keep up with it, so we'll see what we can do here. What exactly is your role with the Republican Party, and what do you do on a daily basis?
My role is actually the financial director for the state, and what I do is I raise money. I also get to specifically design mail pieces. I get to spend a little bit of the money. As a matter of fact, today is the day that we have secured our location for the OKGOP, the Republican Party statewide election victory party.
Wow.
And it's going to be held in Edmond, right there off of I-35 in Cobell at what is called the Conference Center. It's a very large ballroom, can house up to about 800 to 1,000 people. And we're expecting at least 600 there. We're going to have local as well as statewide and national media on hand because the war rooms for both the Inhofe campaign and for the Bice campaign for Congressional District 5 will be located there, and it will be a huge party. So get ready. There's going to be good food. There's going to be, of course, a cash bar. Woo. And there's going to be a lot of fun to be had. You're going to be mixing with some of the biggest names in the state politically and nationally. So get ready for that. That's what I do is I put those things together. I raise the money to do it. I raise the money. By the way, another exciting thing happened.
Yes.
Oklahoma is ranked number 3 in the entire nation by RNC for the percentage at which we have raised money over the last cycles. So we're in the number 3 position, which is, top 10, as Governor Stitt talks about.
Yeah.
And we're in the top 3. And with that came a nice little reward from the RNC in the form of a hefty check. So we do appreciate that, especially me, since that's my role.
Now, okay, so I've asked you question number one. What do you do? What's your role? Now, people want to know this. You're in the details. You're in the weeds. You're in. You know stuff that the average person maybe doesn't know. And everybody here has a. We all have to make a decision. We all have to vote here for one candidate or the other. And I just thought you could share with us the clear distinctions of what you're voting for. That way, if you're in favor of Biden or you're in favor of Trump, you clearly know what each candidate is in favor of. Can you share with us what we're voting for if we vote for Biden, if we're voting for Trump?
Sure. Let me kind of distill it down and make it easy, so it's not so complicated and so many different factions and ways of looking at this. Let's put Trump and Vice together, as a matter of fact, and let's go ahead and put Biden and Horn together, because they basically mirror each other. Those candidates aligned with one another. With Biden camp, you're going to get votes along the line of socialism, heavy duty pressures to make people conform, take away rights, eliminate the Second Amendment. And I'm not even joking. This is not a fear tactic. This is fact. And they have stated it on their campaign stumps. They've made it very clear over the last 47 years with Joe Biden and his votes, and also with Kendra Horn and what she's done in the House of Representatives, aligning herself with Nancy Pelosi. And you see Joe Biden saying, I'm going to bring in the likes of Cory Booker. I'm going to bring in the likes of, Beto O'Rourke, AOC. They're going to be running part of his strategy if he should get in. And that's going to be right along the lines of what Kendra Horn has been doing these past 2 years, is making sure that those narratives and those very liberal, socialist, hard left, I mean, we're not even talking, it used to be that Democrats could rely on their party to kind of be along those median lines,
right? But
not anymore. They're really pushing toward the hard left because they're unable to stand against those forces of the Bernies, the AOCs, the Rashida Tlaibs, and it really is very dangerous, as opposed to seeing Donald Trump and Stephanie Bice and our Republicans across the nation who really support a freedom-loving, free America, opening up businesses and standing on the rights that we secured from the very beginning, that our founding fathers were very emphatic that this nation was to be built upon. So when you vote for Donald Trump and you vote for Stephanie Bice in the 5th Congressional District, what you are voting for is people who bring hope to this nation, that we will continue to be a free people standing against the winds of socialism. And really, it's a watered down communism is what it is. And it's making the people adhere and march lockstep, like you see in China. I've been to China. I've been to Beijing. I was there for a long period of time and can speak the language. And let me tell you what, it's a very dangerous place for the people who live there, and there's no way out. The same thing would happen here, but that's not going to happen under Trump. He's going to secure our freedoms. He's going to make sure that we have all of the protections in place to keep us thriving and striving toward the goal of being the greatest nation still on earth, making sure that we have everything in place, that our military is strong, because we know that a strong military deters any force that could come against us. And it secures the world, and the world knows that.
Why did you go to China, by the way?
Well, when my husband and I were first married, he was involved with his family company in securing concessions across the world for oil and gas exploration. And so it just happened to align with our honeymoon, and we were sent on our honeymoon to China.
Seriously?
And we went through Hong Kong. It was great. We stayed a week in Hong Kong. And then we went into the interior, and it wasn't a tour. It was just my husband and myself and an interpreter. And funny enough, I speak a number of different languages, and I love languages, and for some reason it just comes to me. So, but I speak Spanish and French and English and kind of the Romance languages. And so when I got there, I thought, forget Chinese. That's not going to happen. I mean, it's so different from what I understand. But I went to the meetings with the Ministry of Petroleum and the Ministry of Geology and all these high-level officials, and would just sit there because I wanted to be with my new husband. So on the first month's round, we've met all these people and we made all these meetings, and did dinners, official dinners, and all sorts of beautiful things. And we went across the entire nation. We went to Xi'an, saw the terracotta soldiers. We went to Guangzhou, which is the freest town because it's the furthest away from the capital city. We went to Sichuan, which is where all the hot food is. We went up into the Longmen Mountains where they've never seen foreigners. We went all the way through up to Beijing and then back out. And then we had to go back in. But on that second round, sitting in those meetings, all of a sudden, it was like not strange at all to me. I understood the language and they were misinterpreting to us. So I told my husband, I said, they're not telling you the truth and this interpretation is wrong. And what is actually going on is these 6 ministry officials know how to speak English and we're at a disadvantage. Robert, we're getting up from this meeting and we're leaving. And they were very alarmed. And our interpreter said, you can't do that. You have to allow them to say face. And I said, let me tell you something. They don't allow us to say face. It's a two-way street and we're out of here.
How many languages do you speak? How many languages?
Well, 4.
4?
But yeah, I mean, I speak a little bit of a lot of languages, like Japanese. I mean, I pick it up real quickly. If I'm there for a week, I got it. I don't know how that
I'm
happens.
just now picking up the Oklahoma dialect of English. I'm just now really grasping.
Where are you originally from?
I'm from Oklahoma, but I mean, there's sometimes my wife will say a word, and I'll say, I don't know what that word is. I have to look that up. I'm amazed you can speak 4 languages, and so.
I'm amazed too. All it is I think as a little girl, because I've got a Lebanese background, a Lebanese heritage, my grandfather spoke Arabic, English, and Spanish. He was Christian. They came over here to escape Muslim persecution 2 generations ago. And so I was the first grandchild, and he spoke those languages to me. But by the time I was 2, I was mixing all 3 together, and my parents didn't speak the other 2. So they made him stop, which I'm kind of upset about. But I think my mind accepted various languages because I heard them so early on that now when I hear languages, it doesn't frighten me and my brain connects. I think that has to be what it is. I don't know how to explain it.
I am very impressed. And not that you need a round of applause from me, but I'm going to give you
no.
Good job.
No,
4 languages. Yes, 4 languages. Very impressive. Okay. So
that tells me something about Melania Trump. She speaks 5 fluently.
What?
And when you speak, she speaks 5 languages fluently. And when she goes to another country, because she can do that, she can pick up other languages quickly too. So if given the opportunity, I would imagine that Melania could speak so many more because there's a capability and a compatibility between all of them. Anyway, we're off topic. I know. So what's your next question?
Okay. So first off, we know what your role is now as the Republican finance director. We know what we're getting for if we vote for President Trump. We know what we're getting if we vote for Joe Biden. But I want to get into some specific details, and I want to just go rapid fire through these. The Second Amendment, our right to bear arms. Where does Joe Biden stand on that, and where does President Donald J. Trump stand on our Second Amendment right to bear arms?
Joe Biden aligns with Pelosi, aligns with Beto O'Rourke, who it's not just they believe that you should not have the right to bear arms, but they're going to dictate what arms you have the right to bear. And the other thing they're going to do is they're going to eliminate the availability of ammunition. So it's great to own guns, right?
Right.
And they're going to say, oh, sure, you can own your handgun, your Ruger, your Sig Sauer, your, whatever, your Remingtons. I don't know, but you can't get any ammunition. So what does that do to your right to bear arms? You're completely powerless. They will come into your home and they will confiscate guns. If you are registered and you have a gun in your name, they will know. They will have a database set up and they know who has the guns and who doesn't. And you are going to be highly scrutinized. Let me put it that way. It's no different than being in Beijing. They will know everything about you and they will act upon it. With Donald Trump, he wants to be able to open that up and just say, hey, that's how we were designed. It's constitutional carry. It should not be that you have to have a license to conceal.
Got it.
Everybody should be trained, and they will always encourage that. The right has always encouraged that because we want people to be safely using their guns, whether they're handguns, rifles for hunting. Remember in the day when this was back in my day, we would go to school and people would have like rifles in their window, in their truck window. It was no big deal. Nobody got killed. We didn't have massive deaths. You didn't see the death like you see in Chicago, which incidentally is the most highly regulated community for gun ownership. Yet they have the highest rate of death by guns. It's very ironic. You see it mostly in the liberal cities. You don't see it in the conservative cities. Amazing, right?
It is amazing. And I feel like how the enemy wins is through deceit. So people just don't know what they're really getting. So I want to go through a few more issues because I want to make sure people know what they're getting here. Where does Joe Biden stand on abortion versus that of President Donald J. Trump? Where do the two men stand on the issue of abortion?
It's amazing. And remember, Joe Biden is a Catholic. And I'm going to compare Joe Biden to somebody in just a minute. Joe Biden believes in abortion, not up until birth, but through birth.
What?
A baby is born and by choice of the mother can be left on a table to die. And they talk about how humane it is to allow the baby to stay warm and offer it encouraging words as it's sent off to its eternity.
What?
That is not humane at all. That is, we get upset when we have to put a dog down and we euthanize our dog, but we don't get upset when we euthanize a baby. And you see that across the lines with liberals. Let's talk about being a Catholic. And they want to take the new Supreme Court justice nominee to task because she's a Catholic. It's ironic that they want, and Nancy Pelosi's a Catholic, yet they want to degrade this woman for being a Catholic. It is insanity, raging. But you know what? People see that. I gotta believe, and I see it more and more, that Republicans, conservatives, and even people who are middle of the road Democrats, who are strong thinkers, who are critical thinkers, and who really have the ability to exercise common sense, that they're analyzing this and they are leaving the party. That walk-away campaign is still very strong. They are leaving the party. We see record numbers of Republicans registered, and the Democrats, their numbers are depleting. It's incredible. And I want to share with you the percentage points that we see across Oklahoma anyway, because I see those analyses done. And right now, Stephanie Bice is a good, strong 4 percentage points up over Kendra Horn, which is really fun because think about it. You've got the DNC and all these liberal arms throwing their money into Oklahoma. I love it. I want them to throw as much money into this race as they can because it only helps our economy and it sucks the life out of the other races where they need to throw money and they could actually win. So throw it in Oklahoma all you want, because when they die and they get beaten, I want them to get beaten so big and so badly that they're bloodied because they poured so much money into here. They think Oklahoma is weak because we're small. They're getting a lesson. It's coming their way on November 3rd.
I love your attitude. And I just, again, folks, if you're out there listening today, now that we know where President Trump is pro-life. We know Joe Biden is in favor of late-term abortion, actually after-birth abortion. We know President Trump is in favor of protecting your rights to bear arms. We know Joe Biden is against those rights. We know President Trump is in favor of religious freedom. We know that the blue states are in favor of shutting down churches right now. Houses of you can go buy marijuana, you can go to a liquor store, but you can't go to church. We know where the two candidates stand. And if you're in favor of Joe Biden, I wonder. But if you're in favor of President Trump or Joe Biden, you got to go vote. All this talking doesn't matter if we don't go vote. What's the best way for our listeners to register to vote, Carol? What's the best way, the most efficient way that you're recommending for people to register to vote?
The most efficient way and the quickest way, if you are adept and savvy with your computer, is to go to djt.com. You can vote on Donald J. Trump's site. They get it all set up for you. Now, if you feel like you'd rather vote in person or register in person, go to your county election board. You can do that there as well. And other than that, if you're truly old school, you can go to your local tag agency. They have the registration forms at every tag agency. You can fill it out, you can put a stamp on it and mail it in and it will get there. But let me warn you, this Friday is the last day to register to vote for the November 3rd election. And let me admonish you one more thing, listeners. We have nearly 25 million evangelical Christians that are unregistered to vote. This nation was founded on the Christian principles of their ancestors. They should feel very remiss in not upholding the legacy that was left to them by their forefathers. in making this nation the light, the beacon on a hill for the world. It is their responsibility to register and to vote, and to make sure that they're voting on those freedoms and those free market principles and the things that make America, Oklahoma, because I live here, but America free and great. I urge you to get your friends who profess to be Christians that are not registered. Get them registered. Give them those words. Tell them it is their responsibility to make sure that this nation stays safe and strong. And let me tell you something else. We're the only nation that sends charitable giving around the world by our individuals, by our American individual citizens, to take care of places around the world who are in need. And you know what? If we're not a free nation and we are overburdened by taxation from the Biden group and Pelosi, we won't have that freedom anymore. They will strip us and eliminate our ability to not only provide for our families, but also to provide for people around the world out of our charitable good giving, because we are Christian people who believe in reaching out and helping the world. So you remember that when you're registering to vote and when you're in the voting booth.
You know, if you go to, again, folks, if you go to DonaldJTrump.com, that's DonaldJTrump.com, you can register there to vote right now. You can do it today. You got to do it today. It's super important that you do it. Again, register today at DonaldJTrump.com. And, Carol, before I let you go, I did want to take a moment to praise you here on the show. I heard that Oklahoma just announced we have a record number of people who have registered to vote right here in Oklahoma.
Yes.
And you have been working with a sense of urgency and a tenacity, and I think we had an unbelievable amount of people register to vote Republican. Do you have some data to share with the listeners? Because what I read today was very encouraging. And I don't mean to paint you into a corner if you don't have the stats right in front of you.
I want to say that we have 17,000 new registered Republicans just in this last quarter.
Oh, good job. There you go, Carol. Come on now. Make it happen.
Percentage points over the Democrats. As a matter of fact, as we've gone up, the Democrats have gone down. And so that tells us something. That is a great analysis to see that they're moving over and they don't like the policies of their own party. It's not the party of JFK. It's not the party of the old style Democrats. It is now an AOC far left, very dangerous,
left,
frightening group, and they want to rid themselves of that tab.
It's frightening how far left they become. If you want to vote for the Socialist Party, folks, this is my little Joe Biden commercial. If you want to vote for the Communist Party, vote for Joe Biden. If you want to have all of your ability to make decisions for yourself taken away, vote for Joe Biden. If you want to lose your guns, vote for Joe Biden. If you want to abort a baby after it has been given to us on the planet Earth, vote for Joe Biden. If you're a big fan of socialism, AOC, the New Green Deal, and things that don't make sense, vote for Joe Biden. I think that's a kind of a strong and accurate commercial right there. I think that's pretty accurate.
I love that. And you know what? I heard a very interesting thing said the other day talking about abortion, about that issue, that the most dangerous place for a baby is in the womb of a liberal mother. That was chilling.
Oof.
Think about that.
I tell you what, folks, if you want to protect the rights of the unborn, register today, DonaldJTrump.com, DonaldJTrump.com. Carol Hefner, you are a great American. You are a great asset for the state of Oklahoma, and I thank you for joining us today.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Take care. Carol, this show's coming out here on, this will be 10/8. 10/8. So 10/8, we'll put it out there. So I just want to give you a heads up. And thank you so much for joining us. You're the best. Z, we typically like to end the show by bringing a boom, but before we do, I want to do a shameless plug for a high-class restaurant that really probably doesn't want us to endorse them. I mean, they might want you to endorse them.
Well, why would you think they would want you to endorse them?
Because I'm not classy. I'm assy.
Just because you specialize in jackassery doesn't mean that people still don't listen to you.
I'm just saying, if I am endorsing a steakhouse, people are like, that's probably not where I want to go. I mean, so
if they allow people like that,
but let me tee it up real quick. A classy man that I know,
classy,
a swanky man,
swanky,
a man that I know who is civilized. He's a proper man. He travels.
You must be talking about James.
He raises horses. He's really into that whole wine bar scene. He stays at the Cosmopolitan in Las Vegas. His name's Dr. Robert Zellner. And he does, without reservation, recommend the following place. So, Z, tell us about the Cardinal Club. Tell us about it.
Well, it's a new restaurant in South Tulsa,
Yeah.
and it's a semi-private dining. So from 11 to 5, you have to be a member, which is pretty cool.
Cool.
And attached to it, they have a cigar smoking lounge. It's really swanky.
Let me get my music going. Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Two-story. It's kind of sexy.
Two-story, not one story.
And then in the evening, past 5, it's open to the public. So anyone can attend after 5.
So let me make sure I get this. How much do I have to pay per month to be a member of this exclusive dining club known as the Cardinal Club?
Well, you could go on their website, cardinalclub, I believe, .com, and get through all the details. But I believe it's $100 a month if you commit for 2 years. And then you get reduced price on food. And it's
How much a month again?
about $100.
And then do I get a free meal with this? Do I get a meal?
About $100.
Is there one meal included with this?
I'm sure Travis is the proprietor and the head maitre d' and the grand poobah of it. So I guess you could probably maybe negotiate something with him. I mean, everything is negotiable, right?
Do you feel like they're going to throw in free fries with that, or?
They might, maybe a milkshake to boot. I don't know.
Do they have anything on the dollar menu, or tell me what they have there?
Well, it is a dollar menu, but it takes several dollars. But they have a steak that I was just telling James about.
The tomahawk?
It's going to be his new favorite thing, the tomahawk. It's basically a sexy ribeye with a big bone attached to it, and it looks pretty much like a weapon.
Do you endorse it?
I endorse it wholeheartedly.
How much does that cost?
It runs you like $1.50, but it feeds like 27 people.
I mean,
plus or minus. That's a plus or minus.
It was by far the most incredible steak that I've ever had, which again takes away from the value of the steak. So maybe if you could talk more about the steak. Like, what did you like? I mean, explain it, because it's so good. I can't even explain it.
It's like having meat and butter in your mouth at the same time.
Oh,
it was just
Shaka
heavenly.
Baba.
I know, Shaka Baba's right.
How close to a corn dog does it taste?
Well, a corn dog. Let's say a corn dog on the meat section would probably be about a 1.
Yeah.
Unless you get at the fair, then maybe it's a 1.5. But tomahawk is probably on the scale of 1 to 10, probably about 11.3.
Now, here's the deal. We typically on the Thrive Time show shy away from what I would call prank calling, or calling people that don't expect it.
Yeah.
But I have in my hands the card for the proprietor of the Cardinal Club. Can we call him right now?
Yeah, let's call Travis.
Let's call him up on the phone.
Let's call him.
Let's see if he wants to be on the Thrive Time show live.
Yeah.
We'll ask him.
See if you could get a free meal with your membership.
I'm going to call him right now. I'm going to call
And they
him.
also have these really cool lockers. You can buy your own liquor and put in there, and they have kind of like a corking fee, if you will.
They call it the liquor locker.
Got your little name on it.
Liquor locker.
It's pretty
That's
cool.
right, locker. Now, here's the deal. We're going to call Travis.
Hello?
Travis, welcome to the Thrive Time show. This is Dr. Z and Clay here. What's up, dude?
What's up, Travis?
Hey, how are you?
Hey, brother, we thought we would call you without asking and see if you'd be okay if you wanted to be live on the Thrive Time show. Is that okay if you're on the Thrive Time show for 5 minutes?
Yeah, that sounds good.
We were bragging on your restaurant. We were, Z. We just
We were
wrapped up
bragging
a
on the
show.
Cardinal Club. We were talking about it, and Clay asked me a question that I couldn't answer.
Yeah.
Of course, we talked about the tomahawk and how awesome that is. And he asked me, he said, well, with your membership, does that get you a free meal? And I said, I don't.
Yeah, because people are
you have
going to
ask Travis.
cardinalclub.
I don't know.
People are going to cardinalclubtulsa.com, cardinalclubtulsa.com. We have hundreds of thousands of listeners right now, probably going there right now, wanting to know. So tell us, if we get a membership, do we get a free meal with that, or what?
He said maybe
what's
free
included?
fries
free
or-
fries, or what's included?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys get membership up, I'm sure I could take care of something like that. But yeah, at Cardinal Club Tulsa, you just go to the top right. You're going to click on that little drop down, and then go to the Join tab. You're going to click Join. It's real simple, real straightforward, real affordable for the first 100 members, and we just signed up, I believe, our 76th and 77th members last night. So
Travis, tell
those are
everybody why
going
they'd want to
for
be a member of the Cardinal Club. What do they get for it? What's going on with that?
Well, because there's really kind of the reason that we brought this to specifically South Tulsa is because there's so much business done at lunch.
Yep.
But restaurants as a whole don't really hold up their end of the bargain of being a good setting for business to be done. You know, you've got small tables that are bad for laying out maybe contracts or plans, something like that. Maybe it's really loud in there. You can't hear a valued client or valued potential client. Maybe the service is slow because they're so busy. Maybe you've got a crying baby at the next table. Maybe they're wanting to turn the table, so they can get you out of there and get some fresh butts in those seats. So we found that this was an issue, and maybe maybe you're talking about financial stuff. Maybe you're meeting with your attorney or something like that over lunch. And, maybe you don't want to broadcast everything to the next table. So, we found that we have a huge space out here, and we found that market was really underserved. So we get a lot of business professionals that value their time and their clients' time, and spend that having lunch here. And then what's nice is, since it's 11 to 5 Monday through Friday, it's private. After the 5 o'clock, when the public's allowed to come in, we also have discounts on the dinner menu, so you can save money on our famous tomahawk steak.
Oh my gosh!
American Wagyu tomahawk steak, which is the best steak in Oklahoma.
Now, real quick,
it's the best steak in
Travis, we have a thriver here who wants to ask you a tough question about the Cardinal Club. But before he does it, I want to just tee it up. I mean this, and I don't want this to take away any value from the tomahawk steak here, because whenever I endorse a food product, people say I'm not going to try it. But listen, folks, Z likes it too. The tomahawk was by far the best steak I've ever had in my life. Can you please explain to us why it's so great? Because it was incredible.
Well, the reasons I think it's so fantastic is it's high quality. It's an American Wagyu product, and what we do is, where so many other places cover their steaks in butter and try and drown fat with more fat, which makes no sense to me, we actually put no butter on the steak. We put a house blend that we've come up with of 7 or 8 different spices and barbecue blends, and we rub that, and then we smoke it. And smoking something like that, you can't. There's no replication. There's no quick smoke. There's no searing. There's no anything that can really replace that wonderful, unique pecan and cherry wood smoked.
Oh, goodness, Shunda.
Put one in the smoker right. We're on our way.
All right, hey, don't tempt me with a good time.
So good. Okay, now Josh,
Smoking.
we have time for
7
one
and
more
8.
question
Hand
here,
rub.
from you.
Hand
One.
rub.
James has a question. James from Manhattan. He's familiar with a lot of nice upscale restaurants.
He's a ribeye kind
He
of
has
guy.
a question here, but Josh, we have time for you and James to ask a question. Then we'll let Travis get back to doing what he's doing, as we called him out of the blue so rudely. So back to you, Josh.
Hey, I'm always open for my members.
Okay. Hey, Travis. Josh Wilson here with Living Water. Hey, since we have you live on the show, I'm just going to back you right into a corner.
Whoa.
So what is the degrees of separation here on that free meal for Clay and Z? Like, if I roll in and I'm like, hey, man, talk to you on the show. I mean, we're live on the air here. I need to know what is the answer.
In a corner.
Since I know Clay
and
I know Z. Well, yeah. Where does that put me, Travis?
And Travis, I have the same question.
I think I got Z's credit card on file somewhere. I'm sure we can work that.
Bam.
It's all about becoming a member, guys. You become a member, and then guess what? The door's flung wide open for you. The service.
Is there doves?
No, I mean it sincerely. This place is swanky. It's incredible. My wife and I had a wonderful time.
It was fun.
Food was incredible.
Big cigar lounge, huge patio. We just want to beat people over the head with quality.
Oh,
and I think if you continue to beat people over the head with quality, then you will always succeed, and no matter what you do. And I mean, you're talking. I mean, radio show, quality content, quality guests, obviously that you call.
Well played.
It's high quality stuff. I mean, any time that you're willing to beat somebody over the head with quality and stay true to that kind of mantra, then you're always going to win. You don't cut corners, do everything the right way, and the market will take hold.
I love it, Travis. Hey, can we? So my wife and I are boots and jeans kind of folks. I dig ditches for a living. What's the attire over there for people out there listening? Can you just come in boots and jeans? Can you do basketball shorts and a jersey like our aforementioned partner here?
Of course you can. I want to make people comfortable. I mean, it's a nice place. Like you said, it's a swanky place. But I know a lot of people. I mean, we've got a guy in dirty boots sitting at the bar right now, enjoying himself. Who's a member? Who's he does a bunch of things for a living, but he shouldn't have to go home and get showered up and all that to enjoy a nice meal and a cold drink. That doesn't make any sense to me. I want to break down the barriers.
Dude, it's good.
Of entry.
It's good. Josh, you would love it. I know you would love it. James.
But Clay, I just want to point something out. You do have to wear pants.
And that was where it got awkward. I walk in, and this guy, this Travis J. Davidson, proprietor guy, he looks at me with a look of judgment, and I look back and I go, "Oh my gosh, I got to get my pants." So I went out and got my pants. I mean, just the lack of. He doesn't understand.
I'm the only one that gets to wear no pants in here. I thought that was clear. I couldn't,
See,
it's very clear now. It's very clear now.
My new theme for 2021 is being tribal is the key to survival. Don't wear pants.
I love it. I
Okay.
love it.
Okay, so James, what is your final question here for James J. For Travis J. Davidson, the proprietor of Cardinal Club?
So pants or no pants? Well, Travis, nice to meet you. Love a good steak. I'm definitely going to swing by. Z has offered to take us
Dude,
there
it's so good.
16 times a month.
It's so good.
Yeah, I figure if my membership, if I eat about like 16 tomahawks a month, and I'm beating the man. I'm beating the man.
It's so good. James, what's your question?
My question is for premium members, do you provide a driver service? I'm big into drivers these days.
We handle that kind of on a case by case basis. We can definitely work. One of the nice things about this concept is it's brand new. The semi-private aspect, at least to Oklahoma, it is. Especially having the private side on the lunch side for the business community. So certainly, I mean, we will do whatever we can to cater to the members. I mean, I've gone and gotten cigarettes. I've gone and I've delivered flowers on anniversaries. I've done all kinds of stuff like that. And that's one of the things that we keep up with our membership is we keep up with spouses' birthdays. We keep up with anniversaries and everything like that. And we remind, the spouses about those things because, everybody's busy. Sometimes the anniversary date, isn't tattooed on you a lot of times.
Here comes a text. Oh, it's the Cardinal Club reminding me I'm getting married tomorrow.
Oh, nice. Boom.
Oh, look, it's my anniversary. I'm not joking. This kind of stuff in the world of mandom is important stuff.
Priceless.
Because a lot of times men, we look up and we go, I sense she's upset.
I sense
I
something's
think
wrong
it's
with the
her
universe.
birthday.
Is it? Or maybe
it's her anniversary and her birthday. My
Travis-
bad. Oh.
And she won't tell you why.
Yeah, exactly. Travis, we'll leave on this. Tell us about the tastings you do on Friday for members.
Yeah.
Oh, did we
He
lose
did
him?
not like that question.
Oh, and
we lost him.
Passive aggressive. Well,
I'll tell you what. It was a great interview.
for everybody out there listening, membership, it's during the day, I think at 1 o'clock on Fridays. Most at Fridays,
Yep.
they'll do a tasting, the wine tasting, the scotch tasting, a gin tasting, whatever tasting. And they have somebody there that's very knowledgeable, educates you on what you're doing. And it's really kind of fun, kind of
Great
educational,
place.
and a great way to meet other members and kind of network also. So there you have it.
Best meal experience I've had this year. I would just say that.
There you go.
Nice, great food, nice environment, wonderful staff. Enjoyed the whole thing. That's CardinalClubTulsa.com, CardinalClubTulsa.com. And because we eliminate the middlemen, and we are the middlemen, we're not making a commission to say this.
No, and he had no idea we were calling.
He had no idea we were going to call him.
I had no idea.
But he picked up the phone, and then we had no idea he was going to hang up.
Yeah, it's just the way it works.
All right, so we're going to wrap it up here with a boom. Here we go.
Let's do it.
3, 2, 1, boom.